It doesn't matter where you turn. Everyone's talking about 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy. And are we surprised? No, we are not, because we've understood this has been the main talking point almost all year. Man, oh man, it just keeps going. And so we're just going to talk about it. Honestly, a little bit of a late night one. So we're just going to kind of vibe out for a little bit. Wanted to say what's up before the night was over. And we'll talk about it all right now. You already know what to do. Drop an SDS in the chat. Smash that like button. Let's talk about it. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it. What is going down, everyone? Hopefully, you guys have had a good day. The day is now pretty much over, especially if you're on the East Coast, but probably going to be a light one today. Just wanted to check in with everyone as we get ready. I can't believe it's already Wednesday, and Wednesday is basically over, and we are getting prepared for the Super Bowl. It's just crazy. Apologies for coming on super late today. So much stuff going on behind the scenes. I don't know if you guys saw. I did my first influencer ad. So if you go on Instagram or TikTok, you might see my face. I am working with TickPick. Man, so much stuff going on behind the scenes, keeping me busy, that's for sure. But hey, what do you expect? 49ers are in the Super Bowl, so that is going to keep us very busy. And so I've been working on a lot of stuff behind the scenes, trying to get ready for the Super Bowl, all that type of stuff, since I'll be flying out on Sunday. That's crazy. That's crazy. We're going to be out of here in just a couple days, heading to Las Vegas. So, man, all kinds of good stuff going on. But it seems like still, it's like, why is everyone still talking about Brock? We had Cam Newton today. I just feel like that's going to be the talking point the next 2 weeks. Right? Like, it's just going to be, what about Brock? Is he a game manager? Is he a game changer? I don't know. It's crazy. But I don't think we're surprised at all. Because we've been fighting this battle for a while now. Because obviously we as 49er fans watch 49er football. We pay attention and we've seen everything that has been going on. And I feel like, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like Brock has dominated so far early on. And again, it's the same conversation. It's the same conversation. Is he a game changer? Is he a game manager? What is he? I don't know. It's crazy. I feel like we all know. I feel like we understand who Brock is. But I don't know, maybe because the rest of the world is tuning in, they're starting to pay attention a little bit more. Shout out to Corey. Appreciate you, man. I'm very much looking forward to getting out to Vegas from Sunday to Monday. Over a week in Vegas. It's going to be a crazy one. But, man, you know, I don't want to spend too much time talking about Cam Newton just because he said a whole lot of nothing earlier today. Honestly, one of the worst Brock Purdy takes I think I've heard. And we've heard them all. We've covered them all. We've talked about them. I don't know if you guys feel that same way, but man, what what an awful take that he gave about why Brock Purdy is a game manager. And if you missed it, it basically comes down to Brock isn't the best player on his team. Yeah, that's true. Brock happens to be playing with a bunch of future Hall of Famers. You're right about that, Cam. And Cam was like, "Oh, if you're not the best player on your team, you can't be a game changer." Like, really, Cam? Dude, this is first full season as a starter. You expect him to immediately be the best player on his team? You're talking about Josh Allen. Josh Allen wasn't the best player on his team in year 2. It didn't take Josh Allen until year 3 to be any good. Really? To get the recognition, to get the praise, all that stuff. You want to talk about Jalen Hurts? He didn't get any recognition until year 3. Then he finally got it, and then he crashed back down to earth in year 4. We're talking about a second-year player, a player that was drafted the last pick overall, is supposed to be the best player on the team in year 2, and that's why he's not a game changer. Makes sense. That is why he's not a game changer. Nevertheless, the comeback win that he helped orchestrate. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about the actual football that we just watched with our eyeballs and watch him come back from behind the biggest deficit in NFC Championship history. Don't talk about that. Just talk about how Trent Williams, the best offensive lineman to ever play football, is better than him. And George Kittle, who's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And Christian McCaffrey, first ballot Hall of Famer. Well, Brock's not better than those guys. So how can he be a game changer? Honestly, the take was so bad. The take was so bad. I really do think that it was literally he's like, all right, you ready to make some headlines? And it's like, I don't even care about it. It's just like, it's so bad. It was such a bad take on so many levels. And we've heard some bad takes on Brock Purdy, but whew, Cam, that was a bad take. Very bad take. And it was funny. They were like going through his second half stats in that game. And they're like, oh, he was balling, but he's still a game manager. Like, what? He was balling, but still a game manager. He's not the best. He's not the best player on his team. Who expects him to be the best player on his team? Is that again? It's this weird echo chamber that we're in, that people have to talk about Brock Purdy as if he is an elite quarterback already. And it's like, why are we talking about that? I've mentioned it multiple times this year. I've said I've never talked about Brock Purdy being elite. I said he does certain things in an elite way, like he's an elite processor, in my opinion. I think the way he sees the game, elite leadership skills, as a 24-year-old leading a group of all pros. He has elite traits, but that doesn't mean he's elite yet. I don't even think that you can have the conversation that Brock is elite. He hasn't played enough. That's why Cam's whole talking point about, well, he's not the best player on his team. No, duh. All the players that he lists above Brock are better than Brock, considered better than Brock, because they have a body of work. They've been consistently good for a long time. That's why they're all pros. That's why they're future Hall of Famers. That's why the conversation about Brock being elite shouldn't be a conversation. You have to have a body of work to even be considered elite, in my opinion. Anyone can show flashes. Anyone can show flashes. That isn't the measure of greatness. The measure of greatness is doing it consistently great for a long period of time. Those are the great ones. Like how many people talk about, these one-hit wonder bands as, oh yeah, this one-hit wonder greatness. No. The greatness comes from longevity. The greatness comes from consistency. It comes from doing it over and over again and proving your greatness time and time again. So far, all we've seen from Brock Purdy is a quarterback who wins and executes the offense better than we've seen anyone execute it under Kyle Shanahan. And yeah, the conversation is just all over the board. And so, like, you see people like Cam trying to get in the middle of it. It's like, dude, just stay over there. Just stay away. Just stay away. You don't add anything to the conversation. And it's crazy because he's at one point he was really good. He was a really good football player. He won the MVP. But he doesn't play football like Brock. So I wouldn't expect him to associate with Brock or think like Brock, or he's a different player. So he thinks like Cam. We know Cam refers to himself in the third person. So anyways, it's interesting. I don't know. I feel like we know who Brock is. I feel like the questions about his ability to come back from behind, he can do it. He's proven he can be solid for 60 minutes. He's proven he can be solid for the last drive when you need it. He's proven he can be solid when you need him for an entire half and he's down by multiple scores. So Brock is never going to be he's never going to be Patrick Mahomes. He's never going, and when we say that, we say from a physical stature standpoint, he's never going to be one of those guys. So they keep trying to put him in this category because they believe that is the standard of what great quarterback play looks like. And we've talked about this multiple times on this channel. And it's just a perception. That's all it is. It's just a perception. And the perception right now is you have to be a freak. You have to be 6'6", all those different types of things. And that's how you have to play the quarterback position. That's what you do. Someone says, what about the Ravens game when he crapped his pants? Hey, everyone's human. Everyone has bad games. Everyone has bad games. All the greats have had bad games. All Hall of Famers have had bad games. Every single person who is enshrined in Canton has had a bad game. And that's, again, it's cherry picking. It's absolutely cherry picking to be like, oh, what about this bad game you had? Every player has had a bad game. Debo's had bad games. Ayuk's had bad games. Kittle's had bad games. CMC's had bad games. Fred Warner's had bad games. Nick Bosa's had bad games. Kyle Shanahan's had bad games. Joe Montana's had bad games. Steve Young's had bad games. Jerry Rice has had bad games. That's the nature of football. That's why the measure of greatness is consistency. That's why that's the measure of greatness, is because every dog can have his day one way or the other. Every bad player can have one good game. Every great player can have a bad game. It's about how consistent you can be. And that's why the truest measure of greatness is consistency. So that's why when people cherry pick bad plays, bad games, it's like, is that who you've seen Brock to be consistently? No. So I don't know. I mean, we I feel like a Brock Purdy subject matter expert at this point, just by how many different takes we've heard, all the different rationale. I don't know. I feel like we've explained it pretty well. So we'll see. We'll see how it manifests itself in the largest of stages, in the biggest of games. Uh, so I'm very excited to see what we get. So we don't have to talk about it anymore. And I love what Draymond said about it last night. You guys saw the 49ers and the Warriors come together and do all that stuff and hang out. And Draymond Green was asked about Brock Purdy, and he wasn't vibing off the slander either. And what he said was true. He said Stephen A says we'll stop talking about him if he wins the Super Bowl. No, they won't. No, they not. We know this already. Brock Purdy is going to be doubted his entire career. That's just how it's going to be. He can go out, beat Patrick Mahomes, win Super Bowl MVP. He starts out slow. Next year, oh, it was a lucky run. True colors. So that's why it's like, if you're a Brock Purdy fan, just get prepared for this. This is going to be the life. As long as Brock Purdy's our quarterback and we have quality weapons and we have good coaching, this is the talking point. So might as well become a Brock Purdy subject matter expert. So every single time he has a bad game, throws an interception. I'll see through pick. Game manager. Little do they know that all the greats have thrown interceptions. Little do they know. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I think the greatest like representation of that perception is Joe Montana and the catch game, because we look at that game, that is like the pinnacle of the 49ers just dynastic run, all of it. Like, we look at that play as the springboard for all the success and all the championships, but no one ever talks about Joe Montana's 3 interceptions in that game. No, I didn't even know that, like, until recently. Like, I was like, he threw 3 interceptions in that game? I think it was Aponte who told me that. I was like, oh, I did not even know that. Because obviously that game was way before my time, and I know the catch extremely well. I know the play extremely well. We've seen it so many times, but it's like, that's the point. So it is what it is. What other stuff do you guys want to talk about today? What other stuff? I don't want to talk about Brock this whole time. Am I confident about this W? I don't know if I'll ever be like 100% confident. Obviously, you've seen the way that the San Francisco 49ers have played these last 2 weeks. I think Steve Young talked about it on KNBR, and he said, like, on one hand, yes, you absolutely love the fact that the 49ers have shown that grit and that ability to come back and win those games and do all that type of stuff. But he's like, on another hand, it's like, that's not how you want to be playing it in this time of the year. He's like, you want to be like firing on all cylinders. You want to be aggressive out the gate. You want to put these guys on the ropes, not the other way around. Like, so I kind of agree with that. Like, there's two ways to look at it. Like, is it great that the 49ers have been able to come back and persevere and stare adversity in the face and come out on top? 100%. We've learned a lot about this team. We've learned a lot about their character. We know that they're not going to fold in the biggest moments. That's great. But on the flip side of it, it's like, oh, okay, but we need to come out hot. Like the 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 Kansas City Chiefs are the definition of a team that you don't want to start and have to play from behind. So, am I confident? I'm confident, but I also know it's any given Sunday, and I also know that this is going to be a big time matchup against a big time opponent, and it's going to be a challenge. It's definitely going to be a challenge. So I don't think it's like a guarantee at all, you know? So we gotta wait and see. We gotta wait and see, let the game play out, see what kind of team shows up, see, are they gonna come out aggressive? Did they come out feeling them out? Honestly, I think that the Charles Omenihu injury, that's huge for them. That's huge for them because their defensive line with Karlaftis, Omenihu, Chris Jones, that's a that's a difficult, and I think they have one other pretty good defensive end as well. That's a pretty difficult task for our offensive line. I mean, we've already seen what Chris Jones can do to our offensive line. So that's a huge element of this game. It's Chris Jones can wreck the game himself. So we gotta neutralize their pass rush somehow. I really think that from an offensive standpoint, it's like we gotta kind of do what the Lions did to us. Just kind of have us out of sorts a little bit, you know? They were doing a good job of pulling us into the spots that they wanted us to be and then running right at us. Now they were able to stop it down the stretch, but early on, they were just they were kind of taking advantage a little bit. So with the 49ers and the Chiefs defense really good, man. Like, so it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a big time challenge. You know, going to be crazy. It's not going to be an easy matchup at all. So I'm prepared for everything, you know. I'm prepared for it all. We'll see how it ultimately turns out, but I'm expecting a big battle. Big battle, big test. It's going to be a hard one. This is going to be it's going to be the ultimate test. Hey, and I mean, you know, the 49ers shouldn't want it any other way, right? So, we'll see. I mean, yeah, 100%. It's gonna be haymaker after haymaker. It really feels like this definitely feels like a this definitely feels like a game that one turnover is going to be the difference. It's, you know, I think there's plenty of reasons to be a little bit concerned heading into this one. I don't think the 49ers they're winning games. They're not playing their best ball right now, but they're winning games. So, why is everyone so upset about the Super Bowl? I don't get it. What's so wrong about 49ers versus Chiefs. Did you notice that everyone's like really upset about the Super Bowl? Why is that? I think two of the best teams made it. Is that why? It's because it was kind of predictable. They don't like that it's the two best teams. I don't even think it's necessarily 49ers fans or Chiefs fans. I think it's people like outside just Taylor Swift hate, Brock Purdy hate. I think that's the answer. I think that's the answer. No one wanted Taylor Swift to get to the Super Bowl, and for whatever reason people love rooting against Brock Purdy. So I don't know if you saw the picks. The experts are picking against us. So um only 2 out of 10 experts picked the 49ers to win this game. So they're already preparing for the 49ers downfall is how I'm reading it. Um, I kind of like it, to be honest. I think we talked about this when facing the Ravens. Like if we were to face the Ravens in the Super Bowl, I was like, one of the elements that I like about that is one of the elements that I like is that we would be the underdog in the sense, and people are like, well, they're favored. I don't care about betting lines. I don't care about betting lines. Because the way that I look at the betting line, the 49ers were what, 2-point favorites. All the money goes to the Chiefs. Like that to me feels like that smells fishy. Like, oh yeah, of course the 49ers are going to come out as a slight favorite, and then all the early money goes to the Chiefs. Like that just feels predictable if you want to make money, because that means if the Chiefs win, which people already think the Chiefs are going to win, then you make more money because they're technically the odds-on underdog. So, but everyone expects the Chiefs to win. So, I like the energy, I think, heading into this game. I think, the energy is that people kind of want us to fail a little bit. I think people are rooting for Brock to fail. And this team, man, they love the slander. I think they do. I think they do. I think they love the slander. Uh do they love talking about it all the time? Probably not. But I think after all the years of the Jimmy slander and then having Brock, and Brock just truthfully being again, no shade at Jimmy, just being a much better quarterback than Jimmy. And I think they're fine with it. They're calloused from the Jimmy era, but they have a better quarterback than Jimmy, but he's getting the same energy as Jimmy, so they've already experienced that situation. But now they're 100% rallied around this guy. Like there's no questions about, like, they love Jimmy. They truthfully love Jimmy, but they love Brock. They love Brock. And Brock has elevated everyone's game. Brock has elevated everyone's game. To the point where we're talking about George Kittle is the best tight end in the NFL. Again, to me, it's always been the case, but uh, he's always been knocked for lack of production, and that wasn't a George issue. George has always been capable. George has always been good, and Brock comes in and he just starts. He finds George, because at Iowa State he had 2 really good tight ends, and he would hit his tight ends. It's natural for Brock. Brandon Ayuk, barely gets over 1,000 yards in the final game of the season. And in big part due to kind of being pushed ahead with Brock that second half of the season. This year he goes for nearly 1,400 and missed a game and a half with a quarterback who couldn't throw deep, according to certain people. So again, it's just narratives. It's the narrative machine. It sucks that football has kind of become a narrative machine, but I'm not surprised by it. Chiefs are worn down. They have had less overall rest and have played more games. They got more injuries. Their offense isn't as explosive as it was. They can be had. They Yes, their offense isn't as I think their offense is, they're having that Kadarius Toney issue because Kadarius Toney is a literal cancer. Um he's one of the biggest wastes of talent I've seen ever in my time scouting draft prospects. Biggest waste of talent. He has all the talent in the world, but he has the worst attitude. He's like the CJ Gardner Johnson of wide receivers. Except that doesn't work as well on the offensive side. So Sky Moore hasn't panned out for them. MVS is MVS. Rashee Rice is nice. I like Rashee Rice a lot. He's really good. He's going to be a great wide receiver. Obviously, we know about Travis Kelce. I'm a big fan of Isaiah Pacheco. I think he's a super underrated player. Obviously, he's got more accolades, more recognition this year, but Pacheco's been a guy I've had my eye on for a long time. I think he's a great back. So, and they have a really good offensive line. They have Creed Humphrey, one of the best centers in football, Smith, their right guard. They have some quality O-line, and they have the best quarterback in football. And when you have the best quarterback in football who can make plays and do all that type of stuff, that they are lacking some weapons, but also look at our defense. Our defense has struggled at times. I think what I'm looking for our defense is just put together a complete game. I don't know if I necessarily need our defense to just go gangbusters, which it would be phenomenal, but I just want them to play a complete game. I want them to play 4 quarters, locked in, playing to their keys. I saw some early busts, in that game where they just weren't. It felt like they were out of their gaps. They were getting mixed up in coverages. Their pursuit angles weren't great. It just was like a perfect storm early on. And I don't know, man. I'm of course confident in our team. I'm confident in the 49ers defense, but I want to see him put it together for 60 minutes. That's what I would like to see for sure. But I definitely understand your point. I definitely understand the point. Do you think the Niners would keep an eye out for destroying? No. Destroying just signed with the XFL. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Not like honestly, I don't think it would even be a thought process. Jake Moody's our kicker. Whether you like it or not, Jake Moody's our kicker. And he's going to be our kicker. And again, he didn't have a perfect year. Yes, UFL, not XFL. I forgot they merged. He's going to be our kicker, and he didn't have a terrible year this year. And Jake Moody missed kicks in both the playoff games, but he also made kicks that ended up being the outcome, helped change the outcome of the game. So it's like, again, with Jake, we just need him to be more consistent. He has the ability. That's not the problem. We just need him to settle down, get his confidence up, and he's going to be fine. I really do think so. I really do think so. And he's proving that to me in the playoffs with missed kicks. Again, he missed the one against Detroit, comes back, makes 2, and the difference in the game is 3 points. So, yeah, I don't definitely don't think destroying would even be on the radar. He's played in the XFL, or excuse me, not the XFL, the Canadian Football League. He didn't stick in the Canadian Football League, so I think him being in the UFL is definitely brand. Definitely, he definitely has potential, but I also do think it's the destroying brand. Like, you're bringing eyes to a new brand. Uh, I think it's a smart move by the UFL to bring him in because he has a huge following, and you bring that following to the UFL. Like, it's a great business move. It's a great business move. That's kind of the way that I look at it. I look at it, yeah, I look at it as more of a content move, more of a marketing strategy move, more so than like a legitimate football move. He makes great content, and he's doing a lot of cool stuff. But um, yeah, I mean, I just look at it as a smart marketing move. Johnny says, "Load the box. We must blow up Reed's screens and minimize Kelsey as the target number one." Yeah, I mean, if we can, I just think you got to make them again. It was like the same talking points that we had last week. I wanted to make the Lions one dimensional. I feel like you got to take Isaiah Pacheco out of that game. You have to just you you have to make Patrick Mahomes beat you, which I mean might sound like daunting task because he's the best quarterback in football right now. Um, but honestly, it's like you gotta make them one dimensional in a sense, and Roberto said earlier about the offense, they're lacking some weapons. So if you take away their ability to get into rhythm and you force them to have to feed Kelsey, but if you're able to cover up Kelsey, then you're forcing Mahomes to beat you with guys that have struggled all year and that match up well with our guys. Like, you look at our cornerbacks, they're going to match up well with MBS, Sky Moore. Sounds like Kadarius Toney's not going to play. He sounds like a lost cause. I don't know. We could see Kadarius. I don't know. He is a total X factor. They have that whole situation right now where Kadarius is on Instagram Live saying he's not injured, and you have Andy Reid saying he is injured, and it just sounds like a disaster with him. Whatever's going on, I think there's obviously some internal stuff there, but yeah, man, we gotta make him one dimensional. We gotta take Andy Reid out of rhythm, right? Andy Reid's got to get taken out of rhythm, so it's gonna be crazy. Is Young gonna get benched? I don't know how Young gets benched. We don't have a lot of depth at the D end position. Like, our DN depth has been decimated this year. Losing Cleveland Farrell was a huge loss. Randy Gregory's been all right. Chase has been all right. He's had his moments where he's played well, and he also has moments where he hasn't played well. But we don't have any depth. There's no depth. Who are we benching him for? Who's 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 playing opposite side Bosa? Chase Young is our best bet. Um, we need Chase Young not only to start, we need him to ball. So I don't know, but I do love the energy. I will say this, like, as we're like, I'm talking through this as like, I'm trying to weigh out the best case scenario and the worst case scenario and trying to like find a middle ground. I'll say this. The whole 49ers team showed up to watch the Warriors last night. And you have Steph Curry, Draymond Green, you have guys who have won multiple championships playing basketball. The San Francisco 49ers show up and Stephen Curry's like, yeah, I think the 49ers gave us some juice. So I think right now the energy is where it needs to be. And so I'm less concerned about, again, like what Kyle Shanahan has talked about like after the game. The character is there. These guys are made up of the right stuff. They have the ability to come back. They have the ability to get up early. They have the ability. They just need to execute. They just need to, I would say, just be aggressive. And they have absolutely the ability to beat this Chiefs team. I really do think they can, but the Chiefs are playing well. The Chiefs are hot. The 49ers kind of rusty, after the bye and all that stuff, the first round bye, and just trying to get their footing and all that type of stuff. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm confident, but I'm also cautious. I think that's also too just a product of me watching my team lose 2 Super Bowls and just being gutted. So I'm confident, but I'm cautious. Does that make sense? Like I'd almost rather temper my expectations and be surprised by how well they play than expect them to destroy the Kansas City Chiefs and it not go that way. I think part of the analysis that you're dealing with is a little bit of PTSD, like mixed in. If I'm being 100% honest, the Super Bowl is huge. I still think about how much pain I was in after the 49ers lost in 2012, being 5 yards away again. So it's like, I'm trying to be objective. I'm trying to kind of look at it straight down the middle, but there is a part of me that is like, I've been hurt. I've been hurt too many times. I've been hurt in the past. Yeah, in 2019, we were up by 10 to the point where we thought we won it. People are celebrating on the sidelines, and then it goes sideways on us. So I got faith in the boys. I believe in the boys, all that stuff. I believe in the coaching staff. I believe they have everything they need to win. I think what it comes down to is I'm trying to protect myself a little bit. I'm trying to protect myself from like building it up too much in my head that I'm like, oh yeah, we're guaranteed win. It's really hard to guarantee wins in the NFL, let alone a Super Bowl. So I think I'm just trying to look at it from both angles. There's a positive outcome, there's a negative outcome, and weighing how we get to each one of them. And I think we can understand how we're going to get to a win. We can understand how we're going to get to a loss. It's just which of those teams are we going to get on Sunday? I believe that this team can absolutely win. That's not the case. Like that's not the thought is like, oh, I don't have faith. I have faith. I think they can win. I know they can win. But we know it's we can win on paper a million times before the game actually gets started, but it's when the game starts is that it all ultimately matters. 23 49ers, year of the ladybug. If you know, you know. Yeah, man. I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of ladybugs in Las Vegas. Definitely feels like that's turned into our unofficial mascot, and for good reason. I'm down with it. I'm down with the ladybug being our unofficial mascot. So, there's been so much going on, man. So much going on these last couple days. It's been busy, man. Been busy. I agree. I feel much better with Brock under center. I feel exceptionally better with Brock under center. And that's not to say that I didn't feel terrible with Jimmy, but I also didn't have. I knew Jimmy was limited, but I knew he was dealing with the situation coming back from the ACL. I thought he was going to improve, like get back and improve more than he did, and it just never happened. It just never happened. And we can't forget, man. Jimmy was outplaying Patrick Mahomes in that Super Bowl. That Super Bowl is the biggest butterfly effect, man, because what happens if Jimmy wins that thing and the narrative coming out is Jimmy outplay Patrick Mahomes? Is Patrick Mahomes Patrick Mahomes? Does Patrick Mahomes have the same success? Does he have the same perception? Maybe. But I mean, if he got outplayed by Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers win the Super Bowl that year, how much like do we go through these issues with Jimmy and trying to find another like the butterfly effect of that game is insane. It really is. Um, it really is. Ryan says, Brad, do you think there's a chance we blow the doors off of them? And if so, how does that happen? What's the receipt? The recipe for a Niners blowout is turnovers. That's what I like that. I really think that's what it is. They're forcing fumbles. If they can intercept Patrick Mahomes and score off those, that's I think the difference is this is a game where you got to take care of the football. You absolutely have to take care of the football. You have to. This game's going to be tight, in my opinion. I would say it's going to be tighter, more so than a blowout. But again, the biggest way to get a rout is turnovers. So if the 49ers can force turnovers, um, and get pressure on Mahomes and muddy it up for him, that would be the best chance for sure. KB says, Brad, congrats on 100K. Thank you, brother. He says, do you remember after the Tampa Bay game last year when Shanny was sitting with Brock alone in the locker room? Really felt like he found his guy that day. I do remember that. I think it was Jennifer Lee Chan who took that picture of it, them in the locker room. That was a special game. That really was. I was at that game. I was at the game the week before against the Dolphins, and then I was at the game after against the Seahawks. Those that 3-game series was a special chunk of games. For Brock to do what he did, coming in to the game to spell Jimmy, and then playing as well as he did, then to play against Tom Brady and beat Tom Brady the way that he did after like breaking his rib. I'm going to say he broke his rib on that first drop back when he got absolutely blindsided. So, I think that the injury caused Shanahan some pause to like fully commit. Um but I think Brock has absolutely solidified himself. Absolutely. I think he's absolutely solidified himself. I said about I think um halfway through the season that Brock's got to be the franchise guy. So I do think they got their guy. Appreciate the super chat. Roberto says Brock would have made that pass. He definitely would have gave him a better chance. We're still talking. I hate that for Jimmy though. I do. I hate that that's what it comes on. It falls on him because again, he really was playing well that game. I don't think it was necessarily his fault why we lost. Obviously, missing that throw was a huge difference in the game, but he put them ahead. He helped put them ahead. I think we had a Mostert touchdown. We had a Juszczyk touchdown in that one. I'm trying to think who else scored. I know we all have PTSD of that end zone shot of Sanders running into the end zone and the ball hitting the turf and him kind of stumbling. The pain. Oh, the pain. So much pain. We as a fan base have experienced a lot of pain. We've experienced a lot of great moments. I'll say that we've experienced a lot of great moments, but man, now's time. Third time's the charm, baby. That's it. Third time's a charm. I think this week, you know what? As I'm talking about it, as I'm like trying to protect my PTSD and all that stuff. You know what? Screw my PTSD. I think I might have to take I think I have to take a page out of the George Kittle book and just kind of manifest it and speak it into existence. I think that might have to be the case. I think we got to manifest it. I think we got to speak it into existence. 49ers are going to win the Super Bowl. That's just what it is. The 49ers, who knows? Maybe we get another just real not great start, and then the 49ers lock in and they get it done in the end. I don't know how it's going to happen, but you know what? I don't want any of that scared energy. I'm going to pull George Kittle. We're going to speak it into existence. 49ers going to be hosting the Lombardi at the end, and that's just how it's going to be. That's just how it's going to be. Brock Purdy going to win that ring, and he's going to be our franchise quarterback for a long time. We're going to pay Brandon Ayuk in the offseason, and we're going to go out and sign Brian Burns. That's the blueprint. The script is leaked, ladies and gentlemen. We have the script. We've leaked it. 49ers win the Super Bowl. Brock Purdy, MVP of the Super Bowl. 49ers pay Brandon Ayuk. 49ers pay Brian Burns. We repeat 2 Super Bowls in a row. Brock Purdy is him. Wins regular season MVP the following year. And we have our own mini GOAT in the making. There we go. We're speaking it into existence. We're speaking it into existence. Yeah, you guys think that the Brian Burns hive is gone and away? No, we're chilling. We're waiting for the offseason. Don't you worry. Oh, we already have our BB plan in the mix. I've already been cooking it up all year. I've seen enough. I know what it is. We got our plan, and I know what it's going to be. So Brock would have made that bet. Yeah, we read that one already. Let's see. 50 UGX from O'Shea, Duke Jackson. Go Mighty Niners. Appreciate the super chat. What was this again? This was I saw him say he's from the US, but where was he? Uganda. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, we're taking 6. That's it. That's the energy all week. I've decided right now, as you know, I'm exhausted, I'm tired, I'm overworked in a good way. In a good way. I'm not complaining. In a good way. I have been working like 18, 19 hours a day. It's unbelievable. From the second I wake up, to the moment, like I bring my laptop to bed with me. I'm trying to do work. I'm like, I have to shut my laptop and I have to force myself to go to sleep. I get 3-4 hours of sleep. I wake up, instantly start working, work all day, and rinse and repeat. But I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. I am tired though, but I'm not complaining because the San Francisco 49ers are going to win the Super Bowl. So there you have it. They're going to win. They're going to win. And that's all that matters. And that's why I'm on so late. I'm on so late. I got like I said, I'm working on a ton of stuff behind the scenes, behind the content. And I don't have time. So we make time. And I wanted to come on tonight before the night was over. It didn't feel right to not go live during this week, and it won't feel right to not go live next week, especially from Las Vegas. I'm excited for all the SF Diners content that's going to be coming. I'm literally going to be on a mission to try all the best restaurants in Vegas. And I'll turn it into content if you guys are down. I want to go to some dope places. Gordon Ramsay. I don't know if I want to go to that feels mainstream. I don't know if I want to go mainstream. I kind of want to go. I don't know. I'll take any of the recommendations though. Take any of the recommendations. State of the franchise tomorrow. We're planning on it. Again, today's crazy day. A bunch of other obligations and stuff behind the scenes. So yeah, I think we should be doing tomorrow, but we'll of course let you know. Brad Purdy wasn't at the Warriors game. # locked in. Neither. You know who wasn't at the Warriors game? Nick Bosa. And I kind of like it. I like that Nick doesn't do anything except play football and take care of his body. Nick Bosa, my favorite thing about Nick Bosa is he got 2 sacks and he did not do a signature celly in either one of them because the 49ers weren't up. And I believe that speaks to kind of his mindset. Like typically we get the Nick Bosa shrug after a sack, right? And he had 2 sacks and he didn't do a celly once. I was like, oh. That's not normal. And he didn't celebrate, like, he didn't show any emotion, which is not normal after guys get a sack. And he got 2, and he didn't show any emotion after either one. And I just think that's speaks to where his mind is at, is like he doesn't have time to celebrate. There's nothing to celebrate. Job's not finished. What am I celebrating? We're behind. Job's not finished. So I think these guys are locked in, man. We seen that video of Kyle Juszczyk and Christian McCaffrey out in the sun. Like, I love it. Like, these boys are they're just they're at the facility. They're just guys being dudes, vibing together, hanging out, just chilling, getting ready for the Super Bowl. And I love that the core group of these guys, I love that Nick Bosa's played in a Super Bowl. I love that Debo's played in a Super Bowl. I love that George Kittle has played in a Super Bowl. I love that Juice has played in a Super Bowl. I love that Fred has played in a Super Bowl. I love that Charvarius Ward has played in multiple Super Bowls just on the other team. I love the fact that there is the core, like a huge portion of this core group has played in a Super Bowl before. So they know what to expect. They know what the deal is. They know what the media week situation's going to be. They know. Brock Purdy doesn't, but he's got a group around him that can level him out. And I think all the scrutiny that Brock has already received, again, he's going to be all right. I don't think it's going to phase him. I don't think any of the questions that he's going to get at media day are going to phase him. I mean, you talk about how this season has prepared you. Like, that's why, like, I look back at the 3-game loss that they had as a good thing. Like the 3-game stretch where they were forced to look themselves in the mirror and figure out what they were and who they were. And they responded out of the bye and rattled off 5-6 straight wins. And then they got humbled against the Ravens. And again, I don't even look at it as the Ravens just dominated us. It looked like they dominated us. I felt like we just had more. The 49ers hurt themselves more, just as much as the Ravens hurt us. And I think that's the difference for me in that Ravens game, and why people talk about that game. I don't agree with the whole notion that it's like, oh, the 49ers just collapsed. It's like it was a weird game. You talk about momentum. It was a momentum driven game, and they lost the momentum in the second half. It snowballed on them. It snowballed on them, and that will be and what we know about Brock is Brock doesn't take L's. He learns lessons, and that's the biggest thing. That was like a mini Super Bowl, right? That whole lead up, the whole lead up of it being on Christmas, the entire world watching, Super Bowl preview, MVP battle for the MVP, 2 best teams in the league, all the hype, all the talk. That was like a mini Super Bowl preview. And it didn't go their way. And like I said, Purdy's not going to take an L. He's going to learn a lesson. And I think and we know the lesson that he learned from it. The lesson was, don't allow the moment to be bigger than it is. Don't allow the moment to overtake you. Don't allow the outside noise to creep into your head and start pressing and start trying to do too much. Like Brock says, he watches it back on tape and he's like, if I just take the emotion out of it, I know what to do. I know how to execute it, and I know how to play. I just got to take the emotion out of it. I got to take the emotion of the moment out of it, because my emotions are making it bigger than it really is. And that's a great lesson to learn. a month and a half before the Super Bowl in what felt like a Super Bowl preview. So now you have Brock, who's had two games get a little sideways, either him being directly involved or indirectly involved, and he's still found a way to win both. So I think you need adversity, man. Like you need adversity to grow. You need adversity to improve. You need adversity to get better. And I think the 49ers got the perfect dose of adversity. Now, obviously, in this game, we want to see them locked in. We want to see them attacking. We want to see them turned all the way up from the beginning. We want to see that team that came out at halftime against the Lions on the very first drive. That's really it. Like, we want to see, like, you guys felt that energy when the 49ers came out, even though they only scored a field goal. The energy was different. They get a fumble, and then, or no, I don't think they got the fumble there, but you get the point. So I'm good, man. I'm good. Like, I'm nervous because I have 49er. I have PTSD as a 49er fan, right? Like, it's just natural. Like, all of us have PTSD, I would say. I would say all of us do as Niner fans. But we also understand how good this team is. We can't let the PTSD get in our way of being excited about this game, being excited about the matchup, and what we can ultimately get. Aloha, Smitty, my boy, dropping the 808. I love when he drops the 808 donations from Hawaii. That's the best. Both playoff games, I was in Las Vegas, and at halftime of both games, I switched jersey to my Sapolu 61. Chee-hoo! Uncle Jesse brings the mana. Is that good luck? Guess who's going to be in Vegas, Smitty? I saw that Jesse's going to be in Vegas too. You want to know my little thing? My little thing is where my little thing is, you guys know the backstory behind the Jerry Rice jersey, right? So if you don't know, back in the OG garage days, I had my TV behind me, and I had some like jerseys hanging up kind of behind me. And I think I had like my Trent Williams, like a Bosa, Patrick Willis. And some fan came into the chat and started cooking me because I didn't have a Jerry Rice jersey behind me. And so because of that, it became an inside joke on the channel. And then my wife got me the Mitchell and Ness Jerry. And I can't tell you the last time I wore a jersey to a home 49er game. I think it was a preseason game in 2021 was the last time I wore a 49er jersey to a home game. And again, you might be like, Brad, why wouldn't you wear a jersey to a home game? Again, I'm in this mindset of this is my job. So I love the 49ers, but this is also my work. I get up every single day. I make 49ers content. So for me, it's my job. And so when I go to the stadium, I'm going to the stadium to cover the team. That's like the mindset I'm in. I'm going in here to work. I'm obviously going there to enjoy the 49ers and have a good time, but I'm going there to work. So I don't wear my jerseys. Um, and the point of the story is my wife got me that a year or two ago? I still had the tags on it. Still had the tags. I didn't even remove the tags. The first game I wore it to at home, 49ers versus Packers divisional round. What happened in that game? It's the craziest game I've ever experienced. And I said, you know what? I have to wear this game. I have to wear the jersey again. I have to wear it to the NFC Championship game. So I put the rice back on. Again, I haven't worn a jersey to a home game since 2021 in a preseason game. And I bust out the rice twice in the playoffs at home, and it's the two craziest games I've ever seen. And the 49ers are now in the Super Bowl. So well, we know this. We know this already. Honestly, I have a phenomenal record. My record is I think things of legend when it comes like I've experienced I'm not even going to say it. I almost messed it. I'm not even going to say it. Nope. You almost got me. Nope. But anyways, the point is, I don't know. I love the superstition element of it. I like how we do these things. Like, I remember I think it was Kittle one time was at like a Sharks game and he got up and I think there was either a Warriors game, something was going on in the like another game was happening and uh he sat down um like in the hallway because he refused to move because they started winning when he went into the hallway and then he's like, I'm just staying here. Like I can definitely appreciate that element of it for sure. So yeah, I have a little bit of that in me as well. Um Brad, this year has felt special to me from the beginning. I know what I see in front of me, and Brock has been so special for us. Uh, this has to be the year, honestly, and it has been special. It's been special since training camp because all this noise started in training camp. I mean, you talk about again the whole thought process of Brock doesn't take L's. He learns lessons. He learned lessons about getting scrutinized by people who consider themselves fans, who cover this team. He was scrutinized in the worst way while he was rehabbing from a severe shoulder surgery in training camp and misjudged and misevaluated and was paraded around like he was some piece of trash. So he started the year like in this bubble. And so again, man, he's been tested every step of the way and so far he's passed. So there's nothing for me that would make me believe that he can't pass this next test. Like when I think of this game and I talk about when I talk about um you know having certain feelings about the game, they don't involve like Brock playing bad. Like that, it's not because I don't believe in Brock or have this thing where I'm like, oh, what if Brock plays? No, I've never had that. I've never had that with Brock. Like there have been definitely games and throws where you're like, oh, that's not normal. That's not what we're used to. But again, for the most part, um, I got all the faith in Brock. He's my anxiety has nothing to do with him. It just has to, I think, do with the past situations more than anything else. Uh, so I think we're in good shape, man. I think we're in great shape heading into this one. I really do. I'm and again, like I said, the reasons why I'm nervous is not because I'm nervous about this team necessarily. It's because we have a long line of PTSD. And again, I've said this. I'm 34. I don't know what it's like to win a Super Bowl. I only know what it's like to lose a Super Bowl. So, or I only know what it's like to lose NFC Championship games, or I only know what it's like to watch Kyle Williams fumble twice and destroy our chances at a season of destiny. That's where we're rooted. That's where our fandom is rooted. We're rooted in we've been screwed so many times that man, hey, at a certain point we're due, right? At a certain point we're due. The Purdy Disney movie wouldn't be complete without a Super Bowl MVP win. 100%. A Super Bowl win, and don't forget a parade. I want the parade, man. I want the parade so bad. That's one thing that I want. I want the parade. That would be amazing. I want the parade. The whole Bay would turn up for the parade. The whole Bay. The entire Bay Area would show up. No, see, we can't do the don't talk about the parade. We've already decided we're speaking this into existence. That we're taking on the George Kittle mentality of we are speaking these things into existence. That's what we're doing. So we're speaking it to an existence. No, this is not ruby red squirt, but that does sound phenomenal. These are poppy or poopy. No, poppy. Strawberry lemonade prebiotic soda. I'm not gonna lie, you get these at Costco. They come in a couple different flavors. Pretty fire. Pretty fire. um. Yep. I leave on Sunday. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. So I'll be there Sunday, all throughout the week, all the way till the following Monday. Jeez, man. I'm gonna be in Las Vegas for a long time. I'm gonna be in Vegas for 8 days. 8 days. It's a very long time. It's a very long time. And I'll be working the whole time. I will be. See, I don't know if I can bet on this game. I don't know. I'm already gonna have way too much anxiety. I might try to bet some futures though. I feel like I feel like if I make a bet, I got to bet a future for next season. I'm not sure I want to bet on this game. I don't need any additional anxiety. I don't need any additional anxiety. Nope. I'm bet free, baby. I might play sleeper. That's a little different. Sleeper's a little different. That one's a little bit more manageable. I don't know. I feel like going to a sports book and betting money. It feels too legit, like too formal for me. Anyways, man, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. I have no idea what time it is for you. For me, it's 10 o'clock. Another long day, but we will do it again tomorrow. Yeah, we'll do it again tomorrow. And then we'll have our prediction Friday. And then it's Super Bowl week. Right now we're chilling. Oh, we get practice tomorrow, by the way. So 49ers will be back at practice. Back at practice tomorrow. We'll get some updates. I'm not gonna lie, I can't stand the practice updates for a practice that didn't happen. It's silly to me, but apparently George Kittle didn't practice today, even though there was no practice. So we'll see what's going on tomorrow with all that stuff. But so far, I feel like everyone's pretty healthy for the most part. Grab your cookies on the way out. Appreciate everyone for tapping in. Like I said, sorry for coming to you guys so late tonight, but did want to get in here and say what's up before, didn't want to miss a day. So we got the live in. Appreciate all you guys as always. Big week and a half left. Woo! Big week and a half left. Appreciate you guys as always. I'm out of here for now. Peace. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see